All right, welcome back to Interactive Animation and Games. We are on Lesson Teen, Sprite Movement. So we have been making things randomly move. But what happens when we want something to move in a specific direction and we don't want it to be random? Let's hop in today. We're going to hop right into code.org. All right, so take a look at this block. You are going to predict, you're going to take a look at this code and you're going to predict what are you going to see? Okay, so what do you think is going to happen? Go ahead and pause it, type in your answer. All right. So we have added this math block. So we have our counter and it is adding 1 each time and it is growing by 1. Okay. So we're going to start learning how to add these math blocks for moving things in specific directions. Go ahead and hit finish and go to bubble number 2. All right. Let's take a look at what we've got here. We have an airplane and we have, let's call that a jet. So when we do our program, our jet is moving forward. We also want our airplane to move forward. So let's take a look at this code. We've created our jet, set our animation. We've created our plane. We've set our animation. And we put in our loop. We have our background, remember? If we don't want it to appear as if it's being drawn the whole time, again and again, we need to make sure our background is inside our loop. So we have jet.y equals jet.y minus 3. Why is it minus 3? Well, let's take a look at our y-axis. It starts over here by the 400, and it is going up. So that means our y value is going down. And we want to move the plane, and that is not moving. We don't want it moving along our y-axis. We want it moving along our x-axis. So let's start by adding an x equals block. Then we need to go to our sprites and our sprite.x, and we need to rename it. We want to move our plane. Make sure to use the correct capitalization, spelling, punctuation. Remember, it has to be exactly the same. Then we need to go grab a math block. We have some new math blocks in here. We've got plus, minus, times, and divide. So we're going to add our math block here. Okay, then go back to your sprites. Look, take a look. We got jet-y. Now we have plane.x. Because remember, we're moving our plane along the x-axis. And just for consistency, we're going to make it 3. Because we're moving along the x-axis in a positive direction. If your plane moved backwards, you probably put in a minus 3. Remember, x goes from 0 to 400. Y goes from 0 to 400 this way. All right, once you're done, hit finish and go to the next bubble. All right, we've got our fly. It is not moving anywhere. It is not doing anything. Take a look over here. We want our fly moving left across the screen. So this is our x-axis, right? Go ahead and hit pause and see if you can do this on your own. All right, so we've got our background. Remember, our background needs to be in our loop. I'm going to say that again and again and again. All right, we need our x equals. What is our x? We want it along our sprite.x. And we want to fly. Oh, 1 second. Got too many blocks in here. We have our fly. All right. And then we need to go grab our math block here. And we are talking about our x coordinate and our fly. Now, somebody tell me what I did wrong. I did something wrong here. What did I do? Let me show you. I grabbed a plus block. All right? We didn't want a plus block. We got to go get rid of that. We wanted a minus block. And now our fly is going across the screen. Now, if we want to make it move further, faster, okay, or we can make it move really slow by making that number smaller. Whatever number you put in, just make sure your fly is going from right to left across your screen. All right, once you're done, hit finish and move on to bubble number 4. All right, take a look at this. We have a mouse and is moving diagonally. So if it's moving diagonally, then not only do we have movement on our x-axis, but we have movement on our y-axis at the same time. So we have our sprite. It actually has a scale of 0.5, so they had to shrink it. If it was at full scale, then we'd have a super large mouse. All right, let's shrink that back down. So we have a mouse and it's moving along our y-axis from the top to the bottom. So that's moving the right way, but now we need to add another line of code. So it has our Y. Go ahead and pause it. I've given you a hint by putting one block in. Go ahead and pause it and see if you can figure it out. All right, now coming back, notice it has a warning block here. It is just because I don't have the 0 in front. Now it has a 0.5. Going back to what we were doing, we have our x equals variable block. All right, we need to go to our sprite block, and we are moving stuff along the x-axis. So we need to grab that x block, and we are going to name it mouse because that's what we're moving. Okay, notice we had the same thing this time in the y and the x block because we're moving the same thing. Let's go to our numbers, and if we want it to move this direction, we are moving in a positive direction. So let's grab that plus button right there. All right, and then we are going to go back to our sprites, and we need another mouse.x. And notice it's moving pretty consistently diagonal, so we want that same rate of speed. And now our mouse is moving diagonally across the screen. We want it to move faster, we can make these numbers higher. If we want it to move slower, we can make the numbers lower. If we want a smaller mouse, we can make our mouse smaller. But just make sure your mouse is moving at a diagonal across the screen like this picture. And go ahead and hit finish. And we're going to go to the next screen. Predict. Take a look at this code and predict how do you think the cars are going to move. I'm not going to do this one for you, but I want you to look at the code. I want you to look at these pluses and minuses and what color the car is, and then choose what do you think is the best answer and then hit submit. You are going to do the rest of these on your own. We got moving pots, we got motorcycles. Let's see what else we got. We got some moving fish and make our own aquarium. All right, go ahead and finish it up, and I will see you soon.